Hey guys, we're here with this 2018 Lexus RX 350 F Sport. And you might be wondering, why are we doing a 2018 when the 2023 and 2022 models just came out? Well, the used car market's still pretty hot, and to be able to get some of these new cars these days is pretty difficult. And I think these used Lexus RXs are still a pretty good option. And as it is in Lexus, it lasts a long time. So I might as well have a look at this 2018 model, which is still pretty new. It may not have the facelifted options that the facelift that came in 2019 does, like the nicer touchscreen without the horrible infotainment system, but pretty much the same car, reliable 3.5 liter V6 engine under the hood, and that iconic Lexus kind of build quality and everything. So let's take a quick tour around this, show you guys what this RX 350 has to offer, and I'll show you why this actually cost $60,000 when it was new in 2018. Okay guys, so as this is a Lexus F Sport model, we get the fancier F Sport key fob right here. Well, I mean, it's a little pouch cover for the key fob, which is really funny, but you do get that, and it is a pretty old Toyota key underneath this, so I think the key fob is a nice little addition. But just to unlock it, you do have keyless access if you want, or you can just press the button and unlock it like this. It does have power folding mirrors, but as this is the F Sport package, again, we do have the more aggressive fascia up front. So Lexus's big gigantic spindle grille is front and present here in black. Other F Sport models get a different design. You can also see the traditional L's going in the repeating faction for the L Sport or the F Sport kind of design here. And this one also gets the tri-beam LED headlights. So this is an upgraded package here, and we do have the signature Lexus swoosh down here, again with that aggression going on, some LED fog lights as well, and turning lights in here, which are hidden, really cool to see. F Sport models also are going to get blacked out trim, some blacked out trim on the mirror caps, and these nice machine gray finished wheels, and of course some F Sport badging, because why not? Now this model came out back in 2015, believe it or not, but as a 2018 model, it did get a little bit of few updates over the years, but it also carries around this controversial kind of floating C-pillar, which is also on the all new Lexus RX as well. A lot of new models are doing that in general. I think it's aged better than I thought it was going to, but it's still pretty controversial. This one is also fitted with the roof rails up there, as you can see, kind of like a faux diffuser going on down there as well, and of course more F Sport badging. Pretty cool stuff. Out back, we do have a power trunk that you can activate with the key fob from inside or by pressing it on there, but it doesn't have the kick function some newer vehicles have. Pretty decent space, and now you were able to get this in the RXL, which came much later on, more recently, which added a very tiny third row back here, and it's kind of stretched the wheelbase a little bit. Honestly, not really worth the money. It's really tiny. This one does have the Mark Levinson audio system, so you have some additional speakers back there. Some underfloor storage. I think we have a spare underneath here. Full-size spare. Space saver chair, I think. Nice and bad. F Sport RX under there on the mat. And we also have all-weather mat on this one, which is pretty nice. It is power closing as well. You can actually lock it by pressing this 2 times. Pretty loud. Let's pop the hood really quick before we hop inside and everything. So this has a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated venerable V6 engine under the hood. This is an older engine from the Lexus family. You can see right here, making around 290 horsepower through an 8-speed gearbox through all 4 wheels. It is a transverse engine layout, as the RX has always been, front-wheel drive based. Of course, this one has all-wheel drive. These things are a tank, over 200 miles, 200,000 miles easily. So if you want a reliable engine, this is a great used option to do. This one's a super low mileage one, particularly a few tens of thousands of miles. So this thing has a long life ahead of it. But that's the way people buy these things. They last a long time, pretty relatively low maintenance for what this class is. And yeah, decent amount of power, 295 horsepower, so almost 300 horsepower. Now there were a whole bunch of hybrid options as well. 350h, 450h. The newer generation Lexus RX models do get turbocharged engines, a larger lineup of turbocharged 4 cylinders, and more hybrid options as well coming into there. So it was a little bit different. So if you want something a little bit more traditional, with the V6, this is your only chance to get to the previous generation. I think we're gonna hop inside and have a look at the interior of this 2018 RX because it's a little outdated and modern standards in terms of its older technology, but not the worst space. Remember, this one cost $60,000 when new in 2018. So let's see what you get inside. Okay guys, hopping on the interior of this 2018 Lexus RX350 F Sport. Again, we don't need to have the key. I'm just gonna lock it so we can use the keyless access. So you can just hop up to the doors to get into it. To have keyless access. You can also lock and unlock the door by pressing the button. They have big door handles. And on the interior, it's nothing super special, pretty traditional Lexus stuff. You know, your material qualities and build qualities are good. Nothing out of the world though. It's reliable. That's what it's designed to do. You have comes like this aluminum trim inside as it is the F Sport model. Memory seats, which is really nice. Power seats, of course, and the F Sports models are also going to have these more bolstered seats with perforated leather. And this is nice because you have heated and cooled seats, which is a fantastic feature. And these are some of the best cooled seats I've ever had used. Really strong, really nice. So with all weather formats, F Sport models also got these aluminum pedals down here as well, and an F Sport steering wheel with the F Sport badge on it. Outback as well gets the same material on the seats. Really nice stuff. Pretty basic center console, harder plastics, and you do have pouches back here. Space is okay, and like I said, there was the optional RXL, which offered a really tiny third row, but again, not really a good option because it's really small. You have a center console over here with some cup holders and additional storage. Not bad. And the seats, of course, do fold flat down. Let's hop up front into the interior of this RX350. Awesome. Now, easy to start up like most push start vehicles are today. Depress the brake, push the start button, and it comes to life. Got a view of that old Lexus infotainment system. Oh boy. So, like I said, this is the older style Lexus infotainment system that everyone I think on the planet has hated and despised, with the little weird mouse pad thing that they've had for centuries, feels like. This model was facelifted in 2019, and that facelift brought a touchscreen, thankfully, and got rid of this horrible thing. But if you are going to opt for an older one than the 2019 models, you're going to be stuck with the little mouse pad thing. Unfortunately, it is a pain to use, but and it does lock you out of a lot of stuff once you start moving the vehicle, which is kind of annoying, but I mean, you could get used to it over time. It's really weird. If you've never experienced one of these things, it's really strange how it feels. There's like this force in it, and it's so strange. And of course, you do have some hot buttons for maps and menu and stuff. I'm not even going to get into this because I could spend hours just ranting about it. The center console is pretty nice, though. You have aluminum trim with kind of like this striated pattern on here because, of course, we're on the F Sport trim. Everything else is pretty much traditional, I think. This is F Sport steering wheel is nice. You do get pedal shifters for the 8-speed gearbox. You also get a manual mode over here, which is nice as well. Like I said before, heated and cooled seats, even automatic heated and cooled seats, which is a really cool feature. I love these cooled seats. These are really strong. So I didn't even need to turn the air conditioning on. Honestly, the cooled seats were so powerful. Some cars have ventilated seats and some have real air conditioned seats. So you got to be careful which ones you're getting. Some will just like suck air out or like spit air on you, and this one will blow air on you. It's really fantastic, actually. Heated steering wheel, of course, as well as part of this F Sport steering wheel. Really nice leather trimmed, nice grips over here. Up here, we have a really traditional kind of Lexus gauge style as well. We've seen this for a long time. They're finally starting to update it to a newer system with their newer generation of models. You have this multi-function display on your left side, which you can kind of scroll through a whole bunch of different screens. Pretty basic stuff, nothing too crazy. And in the center, you have your speedometer and tachometer, and that will change depending on what drive mode you're in. So you can go through Eco, it'll look like this. You can go through Sport, and yes, it does have a Sport Plus. If you press down, you can go to normal mode, and press down again, you can go to customize mode, which you can customize very deep in this menu of settings, and it's horrifying to get to. I mean, you know what? I'm going to just show you what it looks like to get to it because it's a mess. So you have to press menu, and you can't do this while you're driving, obviously. I mean, you shouldn't anyway, but Lexus actually does not let you. Set up, then you have to finagle your way to go, oh boy. You have to go over to vehicle, without doing it right. You have to be really delicate with this thing, and you have to go down, and you do have these little up and down buttons, because scrolling up and down with the mouse is a disaster. You have to go to drive mode customization, and then you can change your powertrain, chassis, and climate control into different settings. Now this one does have an adaptive suspension, which is why you can change the chassis into a different setting. So it's either normal, sport, powertrain, either power, normal, eco, and climate in either eco or normal. And I guess the climate control could help with or hurt performance depending on what mode you have it in, because it's likely driven off the engine. Other than that, it's pretty much typical Lexus stuff in here. You still have the old clock. They're starting to get rid of this, and nice trimmed dashboard with some stitching on it. Pretty nice stuff. Again, it's pretty solid build quality as it is a Lexus. We have a nice, really soft headliner over here. It's not like a cheap cloth material. It's also wrapped in the mirrors as well. Really nice. That continues all the way back. Of course, we have a very small little sunroof over here. No big moonroof or panoramic roof, unfortunately. So only your front passengers are going to get some extra light. It's a little bit dark back there, but thankfully visibility is not bad. You do have those side mirrors in the back, as well as that big rear glass. So it's a nice welcome addition. And it is nice on these old infotainment systems that you do have redundancy for your climate control. So you have hard buttons down here for your main climate control settings, which is easy to access. Super nice to have, as well as nice volume control knobs. And they do feel really nice. These are metal control knobs. They're really nice feeling, cold to the touch. Obviously not when it's hot out, but it is nice. And you have these gigantic air vents right here. Hazard lights, and that's pretty much it on this interior. Nothing too crazy, nothing too unusual we have here. I do like these door pockets. You can kind of open them up to get a better fit in there. Everything else is like felt lined, including in the center console over here. It's felt lined, some USB ports, cigarette lighter, 12-volt outlet right there. Nothing too crazy. And yeah, that's the interior of this RX 350 F Sport. Let's take it on a short little drive, and I'll show you why it's comfortable. But if you want something sporty, don't go for the RX. That's been a long time thing. This is a fantastic daily driving vehicle. Good visibility, kind of with that low dipped hood over there. Good surrounding visibility as well, but nothing really sporty. So F Sport's mostly in the appearances, and you do get the adaptive suspension. And of course, this one also has, as a part of this package, the Mark Levinson upgraded audio system. I do have a little cheat sheet here for you guys if you want to see any more features. Sorry, just dropped that. The standard features on the RX 350 F Sport 2018. See right there. Again, $60,000 when new. That's a lot of money for this vehicle. And just some of the options right there, as you guys can see. Awesome. So we checked that out. Let's go take it for a little drive right now. Okay guys, we're inside the 2018 RX 350 F Sport. Let's take it on a short little drive, get a little idea of how this family SUV can handle, well, or tries to handle at least. Now, as it is F Sport, like I did mention before, we have a few extra drive modes. We have Sport Plus, we have an adaptive suspension that is customizable through these different drive modes. For the sake of it, let's just throw it into Sport Plus, because why not? The rest of this interior is pretty comfortable. It is a comfortable car. It is a luxury car first. This is a little dash of sportiness with the F Sport package. This one's pretty fully loaded. It's around $60,000, which we've gone over before. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So you do have paddle shifters, so we'll see if we can use those in a little bit. Let's just check out the reverse camera really quick. So pop it into reverse. Really low resolution reverse camera. It is an older generation vehicle. It does have trajectory though, which is nice. Not too shabby. And the good thing about this car is that the turning radius is pretty good. So popping it back into drive. So we do a quick turn somewhere over here. We'll do it on the other side. The turning radius is not bad, probably because of the architecture that this is on. It's a front transverse platform, so you kind of get a better turning radius. Let's just see really quick. Right about here. Okay, so we'll go full lock to lock. Not too bad. And like I said before, visibility is pretty good by looking down over there, which is nice. You don't have this gigantic hood kind of blocking your entire vision. But it does lack, though, that would have been nice. I'm sure the newer Lexuses have this now, is kind of like a 360 camera, especially for $60,000. Yes, it was in 2018, but That would have been a good feature, I think, on this, especially as a family vehicle, as this was poised to be. Thankfully, we do have power adjustable steering column. Volvos don't even offer that, which is weird. No matter what Volvo you get, you do not get a power adjustable steering column. Strangest option, I think, to me, to this day, that I still have to deal with. But that is how it is. Now, another weird thing about Lexus's, and I think Mazda's, or some other vehicles may do this as well, is that you get locked out of most of the infotainment system when you're driving. As you can see right now, everything's grayed out because I'm moving. Once I'm not moving, I'll just come to a stop right here really quick. It all comes back. So it is a safety thing, but honestly, if I'm gonna be completely honest, it's because I think of this system. Let's just take a quick little acceleration here. We're in Sport Plus mode. You can hear that naturally aspirated V6 rev its heart out. 3.5 liter V6, 295 horsepower, 8-speed gearbox, of course, all-wheel drive. It's not a performance car. It has a healthy amount of power. It's okay on fuel economy numbers. I think it did like 19 in the city. That's why I'm gonna pop it into eco mode. Like 19 in the city and 20s, low 20s in the rest of the other specifications or mileages. But yeah, so not the best in that. That's probably why you're going to want to go with the hybrid versions of the RX, which there are plenty of from this previous generation. And the new RX is filled with hybrids and smaller turbocharged 4-cylinder engines. But once you pop this back into eco mode, the suspension's in comfort mode, powertrain's in comfort mode, it is a fantastic vehicle. Really smooth, really comfortable, and other than the cluttered infotainment system, you really can't complain too much about it. Sure, some other vehicles will offer a bigger third row if you want to get one. So like the RXL did offer a third row, really tiny, wouldn't get it. But I think for comfortably hauling 5 people, you can definitely do this in the RX and on the long distance as well. Like I said before, if you want to go for the slightly better infotainment system, you can upgrade to a 2019 or a 2020 RX. That does give you a touchscreen system and kind of gets rid of this disaster. But of course, if you can't get your hands on the new 2023 model, or you don't like the looks of it, this model is still a great option, I think. And it is still your only option if you want to get the V6 under the hood, as Lexus has killed this engine off, finally. For some of you really didn't like it, or sad for some of you that really upset of the long reliability of this engine and the long-standing place it's had in the Lexus lineup as well. I do wish there were some more features, and I just keep saying that as this did come in at $60,000 back in 2018, so that's a heavy price. But you do have to remember that this vehicle on this platform was introduced to the market in 2015, so some of the newer stuff you may not be getting even in the 2018 model year, but it's enough. Like I said, these cooled seats are fantastic. One of my favorite cooled seats ever. It does have some other nice safety features. So you have lane keep assist. I think this is forward collision warning. Pretty basic stuff. And of course, cruise control, older style cruise control system. The facelifted version of this did get a newer safety suite from Lexus. So you did have a little bit more options there. That if you're into all the safety stuff, but pretty basic in here. And it is pretty quiet as well. There is some road noise you can hear, I think coming from these kind of window areas on the sides, these really huge side mirrors. Great for visibility, not so great for wind noise, unfortunately, but general quietness and the solidity of the vehicle is fantastic, I think. I would do an audio test for you guys, but I don't want to get copyrighted because we do have just the radio on, I think. That Mark Levinson audio system. Let's turn that down really quickly. Yeah, it's not too bad. Not the best. Lexus's newer audio systems are pretty good. The higher end Mark Levinson audio systems. But I would even say that Acura or Volvo systems, I think Acura has the ELS Studio 3D you can get, and Volvo's Bowers & Wilkins is the higher end audio system is the best of the best still. It's one of the most fantastic systems in this class. And this would kind of go up against, I would want to say the XC60, though the XC90 is more of a direct competitor, even though the XC90 does offer a way more spacious third row as well. And you can also get captain chairs in the XC90, which is a nice feature. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me on this really quick drive of this Lexus RX. Honestly, no point in doing any sort of handling tests in this because it is not that kind of vehicle at all. It is a comfortable, relaxing vehicle. You know, steering is very light, even in its Sport Plus mode setting. And it's not supposed to be heavy. It's not supposed to be letting you down. It's supposed to be a comfortable cruising ride. And it does do that pretty well. So, like I said, this is still a pretty good option used. They're hovering around the $30,000 to $40,000 range. They use for decent to low mileage ones. And don't be afraid with the Lexuses because they can actually last a long time of mileages. So don't be afraid to see a higher mileage one. This still probably would be pretty reliable. Definitely got to checked out as you should with any used car, but more so than ever, these are going to last you a bit longer than some competition. So again, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for a lot more videos coming from Allcarnews, and make sure to subscribe and like this video.